Thanks much. Mr. LaTurner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here. Since President Biden has been in office, there have been over 4.8 million migrant encounters at the southwest border, not including the roughly 1.3 million gotaways who evaded law enforcement completely and entered our country undetected. This unprecedented national security and humanitarian crisis has overwhelmed federal officials and endangered the well-being of unaccompanied migrant children as a result. According to data published by the Office of Refugee Resettlement since March of 2021, HHS has averaged approximately 11,000 children in its care per month. In 2015, the annual total of children released into the custody of sponsors in this country was 27,000. In 2022, that number was approximately 127,000. That's nearly a five-fold annual increase over that time frame. Congress has been attempting to conduct proper oversight of the Office of Refugee Resettlement for years. Yet agency decision makers have willfully obstructed our constitutional mandate, as detailed by a 2021 Senate Finance Committee report. ORR's behavior has drawn bipartisan condemnation, but it's not just the run-of-the-mill bureaucratic obstruction which I find most concerning. It's that agency decision makers seem determined to undermine ORR's primary directive of safely relocating at-risk children. Secretary Becerra has urged HHS employees to process UACs out of this program at assembly line speed, resulting in an at-risk children being released to sponsors without proper vetting, exploited for illegal child labor, and put at risk for human trafficking. Furthermore, recent reporting issued by a grand jury in Florida alleges ORR actively discourages case managers and background checkers from questioning internal processes, instead encouraging them to prioritize the processing speed of unaccompanied alien children over performing due diligence in regard to their safety. One federal employee was even told by an ORR attorney to stop questioning agency policy regarding the resettlement of children to potentially unsafe sponsors or guardians, because doing so would cause delays, and that, I quote, "We only get sued for keeping them too long. We don't get sued by traffickers. Are we clear?" End quote. These appalling anecdotes certainly make something clear. The Biden administration's weak border security policies have not only invited the masses of people flowing over our southern border, but incentivized the agencies responsible for processing them to sacrifice the livelihoods of children for the sake of political posturing. But there's a simple solution to begin humanely addressing the record-high backlog of resettlement cases: securing our border. Director Marcos, operating under the assumption that many unaccompanied alien children either don't possess an ID or intentionally discard their ID as they approach our southern border, is there a process in place for ORR to verify their age?
Thank you, Congressman. DHS does the initial assessment of the children and provides biographical information. They fingerprint anyone over 14 years of age. So we receive this information on the child when they come into our care.
Has there been an instance in which the age verification process has proven someone claiming to be a minor is actually an adult?
That has happened, and when it happens, ORR has very strict policies and procedures in place. Anyone who would be suspected of an adult who came into the program would be isolated, would not be around children, and we would go through steps to verify the age of that individual.
In the event ORR receives intelligence that an unaccompanied alien child is potentially being victimized or abused by their sponsor, what agency protocols are in place to alleviate the situation?
A report is done immediately. We refer to local law enforcement, Child Protective Service, and other federal entities if and as appropriate.
Approximately 66% of UACs work full-time jobs, as reported by the New York Times. The Biden administration only began to take corrective action to rectify the illegal child labor market following the publication of this piece. Was the Biden administration unaware of this labor market vulnerability or unwilling to address it at the risk of drawing further attention to this issue?
Congressman, I can only speak to, since I've joined, I know that our team has been working with DOL on cases, I believe, since 2021. We have just formalized an agreement and really are leaning into increasing policies and procedures to combat this. This is a whole-of-government approach.
Please hear me when I say this. We want you to be successful, but sadly today you're not. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.